David, I guess we'll start with what you're calling here is the self-inflicted death spiral for Francois Legault. Based, of course, we had a very bad poll come out. Now we have public sector workers out in the streets. What's going on?
Well, first of all, I just hope you're going to take off your Yankee cap for the wedding, and I hope we'll get some pictures. And all my congratulations and all
Thank
my
you
best
so much.
to both you and Val.
By the way, we are going to post this, I've been told, to the CJD YouTube
shortly
channel,
thereafter.
Right?
So
Okay.
because of this situation right now, we're not allowed to.
You know why we can't do this live, David? Because of Bill C-18.
Because I was hoping to stream this live on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Ziggy's called me, and he's already selling tickets.
All right,
for
calm
this.
down. All right,
it will be up
soon.
very shortly thereafter, and I'll just let you know that he's dressed quite nicely. Nice jacket and some pretty fancy shoes.
Wow.
No ball cap. Imagine that.
I was worried.
Thank you for your concern.
You're right to be worried.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this context is pretty tough to do, a political hit job on François Legault, but I'll try. The thing is, what struck me particularly this week, and ever since the Jean Talon by-election, which was, we forget today, an event of his own making, because it was when a disgruntled caucus member of the Jean Talon riding, who seemed to have been indicated by some people that she would one day become a cabinet minister. It was only after that, when she decided to leave and resign her seat last spring, that this provoked this by-election on October 2nd. And since then, what was very interesting is François Legault saying, after the by-election, this result makes me very sad. And this week, after the big poll came out showing for the first time the PQ ahead of the CAQ, since having swept, and I do say swept into power in 2018, the fact is that François Legault came out and said, I feel that people are mad at me. And this is very troubling for the head of a government, because this is the head of the Quebec government. It is not his government. It is not about him, and he's transforming this into a referendum about him. And I feel right now that there are several opportunities here. First, for the unions. The unions now are riding very high, as well they should. They've played this very well, and on top of that, François Legault has created these self-inflicted wounds. The LA Kings, for example, the salary hike, the tuition fiasco with the English universities that he had to somehow walk back. And we could go down the road, and there are more of these every day. And again, this week, I mean, this didn't get a lot of attention, but the housing minister, Francilien Duranceau, coming out again, hardline on this whole reform of the whole rental system in Quebec, and saying no to transfer of leases, which everybody right now is saying this could be a little break that could be given to help out the people that are struggling with the rental costs all across Quebec. So this has become about him. This has become his own little personal thing about me, François Legault, being loved by Quebecers. And this has become very dangerous, I feel. And the opportunity for the unions, I think we have to keep in mind now that the session at the National Assembly ends in 2 weeks. This is the window. And I can only hope, and I understand, I heard earlier you had the union rep from the nurses. Mm-hmm. I get the position. And I get that they have the people with them, but it's at that time that over the next 2 weeks you have to find a way to make a deal, a good deal. But these things continue; they don't end, right? We're going to have other negotiations, and there's going to be other ways to get gains. But for the unions, I feel there's a strategic choice here to be made about making sure that you come off with a win. Because if this stretches out, right now, I get a feeling that we're like at the beginning of the pandemic. We forget this today, but at the beginning of the pandemic, remember Dr. Arruda was baking Portuguese pies and dancing and making videos, and this was like a vacation. And at one point, it kind of stopped, just around the time where Aaron Derfel came out with the Heron story. And we kind of realized, no, this is not just a couple of weeks off. And this is the same. I think of you, Natasha, and all the parents and everybody. Right now, you're dealing with it, the grandparents, okay, we're supporting. But if this gets to the end of the semester and there's no end in sight, you might see some decay in the union support, and I think right now you have to realize that you can win something bigger here now.
Interesting.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to speak for, I can only speak for myself here, but, I think the anger will go towards the government.
But I wonder, what's that number, David? You bring up a really interesting point, right? Now support is 7 out of 10. They say in some cases 8 out of 10. What is it, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and then you start to see support dwindle, and that's what the government is expecting?
Obviously, I can't say, but right now the thing is that the government is in a position where they want to get out of Quebec City on December 8th with a different narrative than there is now. And the thing is, because the other key here, and that's why there's been a lot of commentary all week, and we kind of know what's going on here, and Legault is in a death spiral right now. But on December 8th, everybody's going home. And what the MNAs, the caucus members from the CAQ, François Legault and everybody else, they want to try to control what I call the turkey conversation, because that's the key here. Because now we're not going to be really talking about politics in a serious way until really January, the end of January, when they all come back to Quebec City. And I agree with you, Natasha. Right now, I'm not saying you have to sign a deal in the next 24 hours. What I'm saying is the next 2 weeks, I think this is as high as it's going to go. The core base, if 20, it's funny that 7 out of 10 are supporting the unions. That means roughly 30% are supporting the government, and that's basically where the government is right now, 26-30%.
Yeah.
And that's the core base. And that's not going to go away. I know we're running out of time.
I'm going to shout it from the rooftops as much as possible that anger and that frustration and disappointment cannot be directed towards the public sector workers. It has to be directed towards the government.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I know you're not. I'm just saying I'm wanting to make sure that everybody understands the people to blame here.
I'm talking strategically for the unions. So the next 2 weeks would be the greatest time, I think, to get the best deal.
You're right.
And continue getting more and more and more from this government that is hobbled.
So conversely, then, strategically for the government, it would really be the same thing. They don't want to leave December 8th and have people think they're doing nothing, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So somewhere they saw it off somewhere in the middle.
Because then because at the end of the day, it becomes a war of attrition. Because as we know, these teachers and these healthcare workers don't have a strike fund. And it gets hard because in January you get the credit card bill for the holidays. And it gets harder. It gets real. And I'm sorry to say that, but these are part of the political calculations in these rooms right now in Quebec City.
Yeah.
And so the idea here is that if it becomes a war of trenches, then waiting till January versus solving it before December 8th, there's no difference for the government. They're going to take the hit. And so I'm just saying that I think there's a nice window here for the unions to score major wins and keep the public support, keep their union members very happy, coming out with a big, huge win, and continue to get more concessions in terms of how work is organized. Because it's ridiculous right now. The salaries don't even cover inflation. And it makes no sense.
Right.
The other point is I just want to say, in terms of the other opportunities, I just want to give you a what if. With everything that's going on about the Legault government and the self-destruction right now we're seeing, which may actually raise questions now in the next few months about maybe somebody else should be running the CAQ in 2026 for the first time. But just another what if. Imagine if the Liberals had decided to have a leadership race at the beginning of 2024 instead of waiting till 2025. Right now, you would have candidates out. You would have a mobilization. You'd be talking about peeling away the Federalists that are in the CAQ back, because now this Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon has demonstrated that the PQ can peel back the soft sovereignists that went to the CAQ.
You're preaching to the choir here. We have said the same thing, I think, David.
I just want to illustrate that this strategy by the Liberal Party of Quebec is completely, now concretely dumbfounding.
Okay. Agreed.
And also, I mean, the idea that are we still talking about this somehow this great Pratt report that was talking about modifying the Constitution and reforming the Senate? Yeah. Is that what we're talking about these days?
David,
Absolutely not.
we have to leave it at that. You're right, and we've talked about this before, but the Liberals, to a person,
just imagine,
will say the
just
same
imagine
thing. You're right.
If we were in the midst of a race.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. No question.
How that could score points to rebuild the Liberal Party of Quebec.
Indeed.
David Heurtel joins us every Friday afternoon. David, you're invited to the wedding, okay?
Many happy returns.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Talk to you
David.
soon.